Whose idea was it?
This scene caused a lot of controversy among fans. Some found it disgusting, others ridiculous, but to me, it wasn't funny or shocking, it was sad. At first, it looks like a spoiled prince doing something gross just because he can.
I regret the disappointment you're soon to suffer. But if you ever wish to know what it is to be well satisfied, all you have to do is ask.
But if you stay with it, it starts to feel different. He is not showing off. He is trying to feel alive. He is growing up in a world where everyone decides who he should be.
Get up!
Is it today?
I've done everything you've asked me to. I try so hard, but it will never be enough for you or father.
A son, a prince, a future king. Every part of his life is owned by someone else. The only thing still under his control is his body. That's why the window scene matters. It's the only place where he's truly alone, where he can act without being told what to do, like a slave. It's less about desire and more about power, the desperate kind that comes from having no power at all, although he's the king's son. He's using his body to prove that something in his life still belongs to him, even if it's just his genitals. When a child grows up unseen, they learn that shame can bring the attention, love they need. Aegon figured out early that if he can't be loved, he can at least be noticed, even for their own reasons. Just like Logan Roy's kids in Succession, who humiliate themselves trying to earn their father's approval, or Joffrey Baratheon in Game of Thrones, whose cruelty is really a scream for love that never came. Both are trapped in the same cycle. They turn humiliation into proof that they exist. That's what makes this moment hard to watch. It isn't obscene, it's lonely.
Then I won't.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon! Simply by living and breathing!
You are the king's firstborn son. One day you will be our king.
At this point in the story, Aegon is still a boy, maybe 12 or 13. The Red Keep feels tense. His father is growing weaker and his mother is drowning in the fear of losing control. The court is whispering about Rhaenyra, about succession, about sin. Alicent has already begun to hide behind faith. The candles, the prayers, the guilt, and she passes that anxiety straight down to her son. Guilt is important here. So when she looks at him and says, "You are the challenge, Aegon," simply by living and breathing, she isn't just scolding him. She is defining him. You are the challenge. Imagine being a child and hearing that your very existence is a problem. From that moment, every look from her becomes a judgment. Every silence feels like rejection. Donald Winnicott said that there is no such thing as a baby. There is always baby and his mother. Who is Alicent Hightower? What's her influence on Aegon?
I've done everything you've asked me to, and I try so.
So she is a bad internal object in Kleinian terms. And this is how the bad internal object is born. It's like a version of your parent that lives inside you, but instead of love, it only gives criticism.
Oh, you are nearly a man grown. How is it that you can be so short-sighted?
Aegon grows up with that voice in his head.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon!
Even when she's not there, Alicent, he keeps hearing her disappointment. He stops seeing himself through his own eyes and starts seeing himself through hers as a burden, as a mistake, as a threat. And that's where the window scene connects back. The act that shocks everyone is his way of saying, if I'm already the problem, then I'll be the problem completely. He takes her accusation and turns it into identity.
Get up!
Think of the shame on your wife, on me. You are no son of mine.
I did not ask for this.
By this point, Aegon isn't a child anymore. He is a young man, restless, drunk most of the time, drifting between shame and arrogance. The court already whispers about his behavior, but this moment, this confrontation is different. It's not about the act itself, it's about the look in his mother's eyes when she says, "You're no son of mine."
You are no son of mine.
The boy who once waited for her approval now gets her full attention, but only through disgust. Years of quiet humiliation collapse into that single line. He finally gets what he's been chasing since childhood, her gaze. But it burns instead of holding him. There is no one left to reflect him with warmth, only judgment. From now on, every cruel act is a replay of this moment, a way to feel something, even it's just guilt. He starts doing to others what was once done to him. He humiliates, he shocks, he dominates. It's the only version of closeness. He understands pain as a proof of existence. When people call Aegon corrupt, they miss the real tragedy. Corruption is the only language he was ever taught. Shame became his mother tongue. He isn't proud, he isn't amused, he's just desperate to be seen by someone who refuses to look.
Aegon brought me to the Street of Silk on my 13th name day. It was his duty as my brother, he said, to ensure I was as educated as he was. At least that's what I understood him to mean.
The search for Aegon feels almost like a joke. Knights and brothers combining and looking through these places, trying to find the next king of Westeros. But it's not a hunt for a crown, it's a hunt for someone who doesn't want to exist. They find him passed away in filth, surrounded by strangers who don't even, know his name, who don't even care. It's not, I wouldn't say it's rebellion, it's escape. The more others push him toward the throne, the further he runs from himself.
I was hoping you disappeared.
Is our father truly dead?
Yes.
Aegon isn't chasing freedom, he's chasing disappearance. He drinks, he jokes, he touches, he sleeps with whoever's close enough, not out of desire, but to forget that he exists. It's a defense. When your sense of worth collapses, pleasure becomes anesthesia. It doesn't heal anything. It just keeps the emptiness quiet. When Aemond says, he took me to a bordel on my 13th birthday to make sure I was as educated as he was, that's not brotherly teasing, it's a ritual of shame. Aegon doesn't know how to connect without pulling out others into the same dirt he lives in. That's the only kind of closeness he understands. And that's extremely sad. Don't you sympathize with Aegon? at this point.
He changed his mind.
Do not toy with me, Mother.
I speak the truth.
When she tells him that his father's final wish was for him was to take the throne, he doesn't believe her. And that's obvious. Do not toy with me, Mother. It's one of the few times he sounds clear, almost adult. Beneath their sarcasm, there is pure panic. He cannot tell what's real anymore. His mother's faith, her guilt, or her ambition. All of them sound like control. Alicent cannot calm him because she's never calm herself. Instead of helping him carry his emotions, she pours her own into him. Her fear becomes his fear. Her guilt becomes his guilt. Over the years, her voice turns into the voice in his head, judging, warning, pushing. So when she talks about destiny, he doesn't feel comforted. He feels invaded. Her love feels like possession. And the only way he knows to fight her is by ruining himself.
I was hoping you disappeared.
Is our father truly dead?
Yes. And they're going to make you king.
When Aemond finds Aegon, he says, "Father is dead, they are going to make you a king." And then he continues, "I was hoping you disappeared." It's such a small line, but it says everything. He is not mourning his father, and he is not afraid of ruling. He is just tired of being someone else's project. The tragedy is that his mother mistakes avoidance for immaturity, but for him, avoidance is the only thing holding him together, and masturbation. If he ever stopped running and really looked at what she expects of him, he would fall apart. So he stays drunk, reckless, half awake. He keeps running from the image of himself that she built, that Alicent built, the perfect hair, the holy king, the family's redemption. He knows he will never be that man, and he would rather disappear than pretend. Sometimes running isn't weakness. It's what people do to survive when love feels like a trap. He keeps running in circles, but every path leads back to her shadow, Alicent's shadow. These dirty places, the bottle, the throne, they are all just different rooms in the same cage, in the same prison. He is desperately trying to survive in this prison.
Remove your badge.
Sir Otto.
You are my father's hand, not mine. Take it off.
You wouldn't dare.
I have dared, and I find it stimulating.
He finally does it. Fires the man who ruled him through his mother. The line, "You were my father's hand, not mine," sounds like a declaration of independence. But underneath, it's still the same argument he has had with Alicent since childhood. Stop telling me who I am. He confuses rebellion with freedom. The moment he pushes Otto away, his grandfather, he falls right back into her odd orbit. She's the model he's been copying his whole life. Cold, strict, obsessed with control. When she taught him that love and obedience were the same thing, she built a cage inside his mind. He doesn't really fire Otto. He's still trying to get rid of the same figure he's been fighting since childhood. Every time he pushes someone away, he's hoping it's finally silence that voices in his head. But it never does. It's an internal object. Alicent and Otto are already in his head. They built this reality for him from which he is desperately trying to escape.
You never think of your father, his dignity.
Fuck dignity. I want revenge. My father is dead. He made me king.
Is that what you think?
When he yells, "Fuck dignity," the hall goes quiet. Everyone stares and he looks almost relieved. In my opinion, in my fantasy, for him, dignity means Alicent. And I agree here, Alicent, dignity, and go to the hell, mother. It's like that, basically. The dignity of Alicent is this forced smile, fake morality, the fear of being messy or being real. Maybe that's the reason Rhaenyra is so intolerable for Alicent. Aegon cannot stand it because it reminds him of Alicent's control hiding behind good manners. He doesn't know how to talk about humiliation, so he acts it out. The shout feels powerful, but it's really panic wearing confidence. Every person watching becomes another parent judging him. And suddenly, he is back at that window again, trying to make the world see him. He mixes up anger with freedom, humiliation with honesty. That's the trap of shame. You think you're fighting it, but you're still trapped inside its rhythm.
Sit down. Sit yourself down. Sit! Drink the wine, boy. Take the little... Come on, then! Little piggy. This night is for you.
So he is drunk, loud, and bullying a boy who cannot fight back. Like his mother. He forces him to drink, laughs while everyone else pretends to enjoy it. It's the same dynamic with his mother that his mother used, control through disgust. Only now he's the one handing out the shame. He makes others feel what he cannot stand to feel himself. The boy's face in that scene, confused, scared, trying to smile, is exactly how Aegon once looked in front of Alicent, his mother. That's how pain travels from one generation to the next. Otto, Alicent, Aegon. Quietly. This pain travels quietly through behavior that everyone calls normal. But we know it's not normal at this YouTube channel. We're learning what's normal and not, and trying to understand these nuances in people's interaction for us to understand how it shape our psychic structure. If you wanna have these experiences, more learning experiences, please do support my channel with your like, hit subscribe button, and we're gonna continue. Aegon is traumatized. He is not evil. He is just repeating the only kind of closeness he's ever known, humiliation as contact. He has everything she wanted for him, a crown, a throne, a legacy, and none of it feels like his own. The power he holds still belongs to her.
Whose idea was it?
And we're back at the same window, the same scene we started with. But this time it doesn't look the same, right? Now we know that we're looking at what once seemed like a shocking or ridiculous moment in the show feels completely different. It isn't about just lust or power. It's about a boy who grew into a man and still doesn't know what it's like to be seen with warmth. He's spent his whole life trying to get that gaze back. Through rebellion, through cruelty, through shame. Every scandal is a message to the one person he cannot reach. The body, the wine, the throne, the rage, they are all just different ways of saying, look at me, mother, please just look at me at least once. Alicent never really looks. She prays, she works, she carries her guilt like armor. She thinks she is protecting him by keeping him under control. But control isn't love, it's fear pretending to be care. A mother doesn't have to be perfect. It's just good enough to let a child be angry and still feel safe. Alicent couldn't do that. She couldn't hold him without judgment. So he turned judgment into attention. The window became his way to be held by the world even for a second. When you think about it, his whole story is one lone attempt to return to her arms. But the only way he knows how to reach her is through chaos. She looks down, he looks out. The prayer and exposure are two sides of the same shame. Shame. He's been trying to fill the silence she left behind with noise, hoping someone would finally see him. The kingdom calls it sin. He calls it being seen. Aegon's story isn't just about corruption, it's about inheritance. Every part of him that feels broken is a copy of her wound. The mother who couldn't bear her own guilt raised a son who lives inside it. In the next chapter, in the next video, we'll turn to her. In the next chapter, we'll turn to her, to Queen Alicent, and talk about why Alicent freezes during the Viserys sex scene.
Oh.